Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to the channel. Anyway, it is that time, Clear Lake, California fishing report. So let's just get this party started. First off, let's just ease over here to the old Bobsy gauge. And I just checked my Google, and it is currently setting at 788. You guys can recall last week it was 799, so it's holding pretty steady. That's down, it looks like, looking there at the Bobsy gauge, down about 2 inches. And as hopefully you guys can see, the water clarity is improving a little bit in here. Oh, I know you guys didn't just see that, but I just saw a bass swim by. That's the exciting part of this week's report is going to be, I am happy to announce that some fish have finally started moving into the Oaks. The water clarity is improving, and there is a lot of life starting to show up in the Oaks. So there you go. That's your water level, water clarity. I just hit on it just a moment here. The water clarity, excuse my allergies, it's just horrible right now. This is going to be probably a gross one for you guys to have to watch, but I'll do my best. So water clarity is improved. It's about 2 foot in here in the Oaks right now. You cut the corner and get out towards Rattlesnake Island. I mean, I covered a ton of water this week. I got a lot to report, so I'll try not to ramble too much. And I've also got a special guest at the end. So when I'm done rambling, hang around. I got a special guest for you guys that you're not going to want to miss. But out around Rattlesnake, I'm finding 4 or 5 foot of water, depending on how windy it was that day. We've had a lot of strong winds this week. But I spent a lot of time down in Redbud, specifically Konocti Bay, and it was after a strong wind day, so I only had about 3-4 foot of wind down there. I was seeing some bedding fish, but they were all small, and I just didn't pick on them. So I was basically just trying to cover a bunch of water, and so I'd have something good to report for you guys. But then from there, I eased on over to Pirates Cove, and the water clarity was pretty decent in there. But it was another thing. I think that place probably just, there's so many people that go through there that I think anything that might have been on a bed's just been picked off. I did see some empty beds in there. But as you guys know, Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I was up in the Lakeport area. And it's just, I mean, it's just a roller coaster. But the big thing that happened to me that just has me all screwed up is I was throwing the glide bait and started getting the giant followers. And once that happens to me, I don't want to do nothing but throw that big old glide bait and draw those big followers out. Because to me, it's just, it's as fun as catching one to me, seeing those big giants come out. So when I can make that happen, I'm having myself a good old time. But don't worry, I do have some actual fish catching to share with you guys also. So water clarity, the best I saw, I'm going to say, was 6 foot, and the worst I've seen is probably 1.5 foot. So there we are with water clarity, water level, and the temperature. That's the one that's been bizarre. It has been an absolute roller coaster. I mean, we've had some, like tomorrow's going to be 90 degrees, and this weekend it's predicting rain and dropping back down into the 60s. So there's another 30-degree temperature drop. And last week we had a 20-degree temperature drop. And so that's really got the water temperatures fluctuating a lot. But yesterday evening when I came in, the water temp I had was 68.1. So if you recall, I had I believe it was 71 last week. So the water temperatures are all over the place, so it's hard to report on that. And of course, every section of the lake is always a little bit different, but you can expect high 60s and maybe getting into, well, yeah, with a 90 tomorrow, you were definitely going to be hitting the 70s for the weekend before the cold snap gets here. But with that, we are 100% in all 3 phases of the spawn. I'm seeing fry, I'm seeing them on beds, and all the big fish I caught this week were post-spawn. Now, the lake's not all in the same phase. Different parts of the lake are in different phases of the spawn. So everything up north I caught was post-spawn. I'm still catching pre-spawn in the redbud and the rattlesnake arm. Still catching a lot of little bucks when I want to go target them. Like I said, I'm just enjoying dragging out all these monsters. I saw a true dinosaur the other day. This fish had to be 14, 15 pounds. I saw it rolling on a bed. Fortunately, she was in a spot that's going to be hard for someone to find. I never even cast at the fish. I just sat there in awe and watched her and never even made a cast at her because she was just too majestic to mess with. So I'm hoping no one else stumbles across her and messes with her because them eggs need to be hatched. I was thankful. I was blessed to get to see that. That was freaking awesome. And the fish catching has been all over. I've got a lot of my friends are reporting. A lot of people just love the bed fishing, so a lot of people are going out and targeting that. And a lot of people are still getting a reaction bite, and it's just all over. I'm going to show you guys what's on deck here before I quit, and I'll show you one of the baits that are really getting bit good. But I mean, from big to small, they're eating it all. You just have to get in the right area and find the fish in the right mood. I'm still finding it's a tight bite window for me, and I'm happy to report that a topwater bite has started up here at Clear Lake. Problem is, it's 15 miles from where I live. I'll give you that hint. The Yakka bass was won by one of my RV Bass brothers, Sean, and I can tell you he won it on a topwater bite. That's not gunshots. That's just a construction work on the dock over there across the channel. So there is a topwater bite to be found. I went out down here and tried to duplicate what we found, and I fished a frog in the Oaks 4 hours exclusive, nothing but a frog for 4 hours. I never got a single blow up. But with what I'm seeing today, I think that's about to turn around, and we're going to be able to start catching some post spawners looking up that are going to eat that frog. I'm hearing the frogs, all the cottons on the water. So everything that needs to be in place to make that topwater bite happen, in my opinion, is starting to show up. So that's all good news. So let's see. Man, I've talked so much. What have I missed? We got water level. We got clarity. We got temperature. I've talked about the bite, so let's just see what's on deck. You can see here, Mr. Wacky Rigged Senko, big player. You got to come up here with that. You know, guys that aren't really good at the scope are tooled up for the scope. That's your tool right there, that Wacky Rigged Senko. And everybody I've spoken to is Wacky Rigged is the key, not the Texas Rigged. I like to throw the Texas Rigged too, especially in a scattered toolies. That's one of my favorite techniques, but the Wacky Rigged Senko around the docks has been a key player, and of course the drop shot's hiding under there. And the chatterbait. I've broken the chatterbait out just because with the wind, it's my go-to. And if I'm around the flooded brush and the toolies, and I'm in 4 or 5 foot of water, and you know I got some chop on the water, I like to go with that chatterbait. And then I'm still throwing the big glide bait, getting some followers on that, and that's my CMF underspin. The last bite took my bait off, and I just haven't replaced it yet. So we got that going, and right over here, hang on, I'm moving fast. Here's the secret bait. Bass Mafia is eating this color. I forget what the heck it's called. So, but anyway, get a good look at it. If you want to go buy that one, there it is. And they're eating the Nessie. They're actually wanting the flag, but I don't have the flag, so this Nessie is the closest thing I have to it. You can see she's getting chewed up. I even caught a freaking 20-pound cat on that. That was ridiculous. And got my froggy tied on, and of course I don't leave home without it. Got my trash fish tied on, and the meat stick, and I'm going with the peanut butter and jelly right now because I'm fishing lots of different water clarity, so I'm going with the darker profile at this moment, and I'm just flipping in there really tight to the cover. Seems to be key for me right now. And back here in the back, of course, I got my crappie jig, I got the Alabama rig, and what the heck else do I have in there? I might have a little crankbait in there. Oh, and a Texas Rigged Senko. So that's what's on deck for me. I've asked about the LV. People are reporting some grasses showing up. So, you know, it seems some days are more in a summer mode, and then Some days are still your spring, fall. So like I say, it's just all over. So you're gonna have to be locked and loaded for everything. Your deck's gonna have to be covered up. It's just like I'm not good enough to get dialed into 3 or 4 rods, but I'm sure there are people out there that can and will. Your underspins are still going to be doing good. Even your flashy swimmer with your Kitech is a good one, especially if we're getting some grass and people pinging that minnow. I mean, when I was out, I just still a lot of people still pinging that minnow. So that's it's still a player. That might just be a year-round player now. Who knows? It's just like it's not my thing. It's not how I enjoy to fish. So I'm just going out and doing it the way I like to do it. So anyway, I want to remind you guys today, Thursday, I'm going to be at Bass Hounds from 3 to 5. So if you're in the area, sneaking up early to get your pre-fish on for this weekend's tournament, come by, say hello, ask me some questions, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But anyway, when you guys get up here, remember, treat people the way you want to be treated. Respect that resource, and peace out, baby. Well, hey folks, here we are out piddling around on my dock, and you are not going to believe who happened to sneak up to say hello. Mr. Kelly Popo, what's up, brother?
How you doing there, Bob?
Good. You up here knocking the socks off of them?
I won't say knocking the socks out of them, but you got to earn them, though. Had some wind on Monday, couldn't fish hardly at all, but I'll tell you what, this lake's getting a lot of pressure, and it's about ready to explode. The fish are in all different stages right now. Any way you want to catch them, there's ways of doing that. But it's going to get better as time progresses right now, and this weather stabilizes. Today, in fact, I've had a lot of 3.5-pound fish.
Nice.
Males. The males are up. Some of them are a little skittish. There's some big females out there, but they haven't made the move completely yet. They haven't committed yet, a lot of them, but there's a few that have. Again, it's going to get better. I just stuck a 6 a few minutes ago. And I'll tell you what, guys. If you are coming up here, you got to slow down, work thorough, and you also too, that's 2 things, but also you got to try to fish different areas of this lake because it's responding completely different, and you're going to find every level of fish doing everything that you can think of that's going on right now.
It's definitely in all 3 phases of the spawn right now, huh?
Yes, sir. And the fact of the matter is that if you get hung up on one thing one day and you try to do it another day somewhere else, it won't work probably. And that's one thing about this lake. You can come out here and blank, or catch a couple fish, or you come in and catch 20, 25 pounds right now.
Yeah, I'm talking to a lot of people. Some are struggling and some are having the best days of their life. It's really just all over the place. But I think, like you just said, you can't just get locked into one thing. You got to keep it open.
You have to. I love power fishing. I'm doing a little bit of that. But I'll tell you what, right now, a worm, plastic, drop shot, Senko can catch you fish, and you can catch a giant too. But as well, the Glide, Nessie, those come into play, and top water is just right around the corner.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Clear Lake. The next cast truly can be the bass of a lifetime. That's what keeps it so exciting.
Yes, sir.
Well, Kelly, man, I appreciate it, man. It was a pleasure meeting you, and really appreciate you sharing some love and some information with us, brother.
Well, love back to you guys, and peace to all of you.
Right on. Peace out, baby.